This is for Algebra 1, Part 2, Unit 1, which is Chapter 7 in the book. Problem 1, the got it, on page 419. What is the simplified form of each expression? So we'll start with A. The original problem is 4 raised to the negative third power. The definition of a negative exponent is that it switches the base from numerator to denominator or denominator to numerator, depending on where it starts out. So in this case, there is no denominator, so the 4 to the negative third becomes 1 over 4 to the third, because the negative, in order to get rid of that negative, it has to move the base, which is the 4, into the denominator. And then 4 to the third power is just 64. So there's that one. Part B says negative 5 in parentheses raised to the 0 power. Anything to the 0 power. And since the negative is included in the parentheses with the 5, anything to the 0 power is 1. Okay. Part C, 3 to the raised to the negative 2 power, and again, the negative says move it from the numerator to the denominator, which gets rid of the negative sign. Once it has performed its action, which is moving the base, in this case the base is 3, then the power is no longer negative because it's done its job. Just like an addition sign goes away when you add two things. And then 1 over 3 squared is 1/9. Okay. D says 6 to the negative 1 power. Same rule. 6 is the base. In order to get rid of that negative, it has to move the 6 down to the denominator. And anything to the first power is itself, so that becomes 1 over 6. Part E, negative 4 in parentheses raised to the negative second power. Negative 4, since it's in parentheses, that whole thing is the base. In order to get rid of the negative, we have to move the negative 4 down into the denominator. And since all of these, we're taking something out of the denominator, it doesn't make it 0. We've obviously, if you notice the pattern, changed it to 1. When you take everything out of the numerator, you make it a 1. So the negative 4 goes down, and the negative in front of the exponent goes away. And then negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. Notice that in step 2 right here, or step 1, I guess, the two negatives did not cancel each other out. This negative, the negative in front of the 2 in the exponent, is only telling you to move something. The negative in front of the 4 is actually a negative, so those two cannot affect each other.